Good afternoon. The Board of Voters Registration and Election of Beaufort County is now called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we're now at public comments. If there's anyone for public comments, please limit your comments to 5 minutes. State your name and address, please. All right. You see no one for public comments, so we will now move to our minutes from the meeting on April 26th. Can I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the board members that was present?
So moved.
Okay, Craig Kelly moved,
Second.
and it was second by Beverly Dorr. Motion carries. Now, next, we will not do unfinished business. We are going to move the agenda to new business, and we're going to have the oath of office for our newly appointed board members, and Marie will administer the oath.
Hello. Welcome aboard.
Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to working with everyone. And we're gonna ask all of our new board members who have just recently gotten their appointment letters from the governor to please stand. Okay, and would you please just repeat after me? Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
thereof,
thereof,
and preserve,
and preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States,
and of the United States.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You are sworn in. You should have in front of you a copy of this particular oath. We ask that you please sign above your name, and I will notarize it. Okay, so just go ahead and sign it. Thank you. Welcome aboard. And congratulations on your appointment. All right. We will now move to our committee reports. First on the list is facilities. Do we have any update on facilities? I can do that if you,
Okay.
I can do an update right now. Is it on? Okay, I can do a brief update on facilities. The bid for our renovation or our addition to our main office should have come in on yesterday. I don't know the whole status of that, but when I spoke with our ACA, which is our liaison between us and the county, she informed me that once everything is I guess, accepted and approved, it will be about an 11-month process. So it's sometime next year before we could probably see any serious major progress on that. So, all right, thank you so much. Finance Committee, no report.
Legislative Affairs Committee, no report. Representing Committee,
There is no report at this time.
Rules Committee, there's no report at this time. We are now to our Director's Report.
Madam Chair and the Board, we do not have a written report today. So, but I will give you an update on what's going on with our legislative initiative, which was introduced earlier in the year, House Bill 4217, which is adding additional precincts to Beaufort County. And the bill was approved by the House. It was sent over to the Senate. I think it was May 2nd. And the Senate sent it over to, no, it's in committee. So right now, even though the session ended, the general session ended on last Thursday, actually May 11th, it ended. And I got it right here. What happened is they adjourned without addressing that particular bill. So I've been in contact with the State Legislative Council, and they were trying to get the senators to try to address that while they're back in to general session right now, back into that special session, to see if they can go ahead and get that done before the end of the year. Sorry. Before the end of the year, because if they do not do that, it may be January before we can have anything done. And hopefully, what we were planning on, that we would get that bill done and we could start working on getting those precincts situated, getting voters notified before the 2024 election cycle began, because we know we have lots of stuff going on in 2024. And, we're looking at presidential preference primaries in February. And I really want to try and get people, the voters, notified of their new polling locations, making sure that they know where they are going when those elections get started. So all is not lost yet. We still have a couple of days. I'm not sure if the Senate is still in session today, and if they are going to address any additional bill other than what they were called back to address, the budget and that abortion bill, which was passed last night. So I'm not sure where we are. Do you?
As of about noon, it passed second reading yesterday, and there was unanimous consent for third reading today in the Senate.
For this particular bill?
For this bill.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. So hopefully we will get it done and get people notified of their new polling locations. But as a board, we still have lots of work to do. We got to find places to have or to house these precincts. Bluffton, folks in the Bluffton area, we need to try and find facilities that we can use. We all been working hard trying to find a place that that would be amenable to letting us using them as polling locations. So please, if you know friends that live in the Bluffton area and they belong to a homeowners association that have a club a clubhouse or something, talk to them and let them know how important it is that, how important it is the board would like for them to help in this process of working in the community and providing a service by offering up the use of their facility. So government agencies and facilities are limited, so we have to reach out to the private sector and the churches in those areas as well. So if you know anybody that knows somebody that knows somebody, go ahead and start putting on the good word because we're gonna need places. If not, we're gonna be standing in long lines come November, and we don't wanna do that. So, all right, that's it so far as facilities and the legislative update. Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Poll workers, we also recruiting poll workers. We have scheduled poll workers training the first Saturday in each month up until when?
July is the last Saturday.
Okay.
Sorry?
July is, we're gonna do it the first Saturday in June, and in July, we're gonna do it the last Saturday. And the first Saturday in August, good. So-
Say that again.
I can tell you,
June 3rd, July 29th, and August 5th.
And they're all gonna be here?
they will be in Beaufort
That's what I mean.
at the main office, yes.
August 5th?
So our first session, our first poll workers training session we had on May the 6th. And we had about 16 people in that session. The next session is scheduled for June the 3rd, and right now we only have 6 people, I think, that's enrolled. If anyone is interested in becoming a poll worker, they need to go to our website, and it will direct them on how to sign up to become a poll worker. And they can select any one of those available dates and, sign themselves up for the class. The class will be about 4 hours. It's not a class that you will be paid to attend, but it's the initial poll workers training class. So please talk to your family members that would like to provide a civic service to the voters in Beaufort County. Encourage them to become poll workers and get involved in the process.
So, Maria, so that they're gonna go to scvotes.gov?
No,
No.
BC,
the Beaufort County website.
bcgov.net.
Beaufort County Voter Registration Department.
The Beaufort County voter registration website.
Is that the bcgov.net?
It's vote, what is it, Chris? Vote Beaufort. Okay. What's the first part of it?
That is the website.
Just Beaufort County?
Yeah, Beaufort County BeaufortCountySC.gov.
We don't know our own website. We don't go to it.
And you go to the voter, our link, it'll take you there. And what we will do, when that person fills out that, when they fill out the little thing, it'll let us know that they're interested, then we'll assign them, and they'll be able to sign up for their own classes.
Go to the Beaufort County website, Beaufort.
BeaufortCountySC.gov, all one word, /vote, VOTE.
There you go. That's the
Our
part.
website.
What helps is that people who are listening to this or seeing it by TV can know the exact location they go to. That was my only point. And it's Beaufort County SC.gov votes, /votes.
No S.
That'd be great.
Just vote.
Vote, no S. BC County, Beaufort County SC.gov /vote.
Marie, follow-up question, since you're talking about recruitment of poll managers. In the minutes for the re-precincting committee report on April 26th, there was an item that said, recruitment of volunteers who may work 4 or more hours is advantageous. Are we saying that we're gonna allow people to come in and work split shifts on election day?
No, sir. Where was that in the minutes?
That's volunteers, not workers,
Volunteers.
volunteers, Maria.
Oh,
Volunteers
okay.
can choose how many hours they want to work, that's my understanding.
Those are people that are not on payroll.
It doesn't apply to poll workers.
The-
They can be poll workers, they're just volunteers. They
That's
don't
the meaning
have to
of
be
the
paid.
word
They don't want to be
volunteer.
paid that.
Okay.
And also though is,
Did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay. Okay. New board members, board orientation will be set up for you all, and we're hoping to do it in one setting. So I'll coordinate with you later on the dates that we can get together. Right now, if you could look at your calendar and put it on your calendar as June the 9th, June 13th, or June 16th. So you can have some idea of when it's going to be. It'll be one of those 3 dates. And hopefully, you will be available. June 9th, June 13th, or June 16th. Okay? And you can just, we'll talk later on what day is best for you all. And that's pretty much it, unless you have questions.
I just have a question.
Mhm.
Are board members eligible to be poll workers?
No, sir.
Okay.
You can't play both roles,
And we're
unfortunately.
Looking for volunteers, looking for workers.
Anyone else?
Any other question? That's a good question.
Mr. Wedgeworth, what about you? You have any questions?
No, I asked them all before the meeting started.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the,
I would assume that at the orientation, you will go over the proposed precincts and that type of information.
The particular orientation that I'm talking about is the one that will be done by SEC, by the State Election Commission. This is not the
orientation.
the county orientation, yes. Mhm.
I do have a follow-up question about poll workers.
Mhm.
Based on your past retention rate of poll workers, how many do you think that we'll need, new poll workers for 2024?
We are taking every and anybody who's willing to work, and the reason for that is we are going to be increasing the number of precincts. We're going to be increasing the number of polling locations. So we will be increasing the number of poll managers that we need. And we always go through this cycle of once a poll manager finished with a general election, they don't always come back. So we are just trying to build up our database so that we will have more than enough poll workers that we can use in the 2024 election cycle.
And along those lines as well, we want to overpopulate each site to, in case of dropout, one thing, but also not to wear everybody out who is there. So we, for the last couple of years, we're always right there at each site. We've always not really had enough. So we're really stressing that, and that we're asking you when you go out and ask people to work, whether it be the ones that are already in your system or when you get new people, try to bulk up each polling location. I think it's very important. I think that makes it go a lot smoother for each site. So.
We can't use the minimum.
Right.
We want more than the minimum. And like Wendell said, that is to alleviate some of the burdens on the ones that are there. And the more people that are there, I think we'll be able to provide better service, because people will get waited on a little bit quicker. Curbside will probably go a little bit quicker. And curbside is not going to go away. We're going to have curbside for a while. And so we're going to need to make sure all of our locations are well populated so that we can address all of those issues. These were some of the things that were concerns of the existing poll workers, not having enough people to carry the burden.
I also have a comment about the poll workers. And I believe in volunteers because I always find myself volunteering. But because of the long hours at the poll, if you decide that you're going to have volunteers working in your precinct, you need to make sure that you're going to have enough volunteers in order to fill in or either enough poll workers. Because, for an example, if I come in at 6 o'clock, I may say, I need to leave at 11. You need to have someone that is going to fill that gap. Because if you don't, then we are going to be backed up. So volunteering is good, but make sure you do cover all of that to make sure you do have enough volunteers, especially come November, and not only that, even with the early voting, because you could find yourself really short, and now you're gonna have a backup in your
I-
precinct.
Pretty much what she's saying,
Yeah,
if you're gonna get volunteers, you wanna look for two,
yeah,
to split the day in half.
yeah.
No, not just one, and you leave, and then that, you're looking down on a person, so. Try to, if you're gonna get a volunteer in a particular precinct, try to get two that will split that whole
Right.
day.
Do volunteers take the training?
Yes, ma'am.
So
They
they're
do.
actually allowed to do all the tasks since they've taken the training?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They cannot volunteer without being trained.
They have to sign up just like everybody else. The only difference with them is that when, like, the paperwork side of it, they give us less paperwork. We just get, verified citizenship and the original basic information we get. And then they don't have to do tax stuff or any other kind of stuff.
Okay. Craig, you have anything?
No, just make sure that, realize that the team here does a good job of finding workers, but it's up to us to fill them. So, it's,
Right.
we're responsible for all of our precincts to fill the votes, or the poll workers.
Poll workers are kind of like silk blouses, you can't have too many.
And I'll send you, there's more to that website to get to the information, and I'll send it to you after the meeting, but it's actually Beaufort County sc.gov vote/vote/poll workers. So I'll send it to everybody, just make sure you have it. It's a lot easier just to send it to one place rather than let them make a decision.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that say? Oh, and you guys are invited to attend any of the poll workers training. If you want to refresh yourself on some of the basics, you can attend any of the poll workers training yourselves as well.
I would still,
Go ahead.
I would request that they be given a copy of the proposed precincts, though. Since they're board members now, they probably need to accept the responsibility of helping us to identify new polling places.
Yeah. I think the chair.
Very helpful information.
Yeah, I think the chair will be assigning, do you have that on your report, to assign committees and
No.
areas?
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, okay.
No.
Never mind.
Well, because we were gonna wait to see exactly if everything got passed in the House and the
Okay.
Senate.
But you all should
So we
have
know.
a copy of all the committee, the board's committees, and just look through that and see if there's a committee that you would like to work with, and just let Ms. Chair know, and she will consider appointing you to those committee. But she's not gonna do that today, is my understanding.
We talked about before, and part of it is make sure they have an understanding of what the
Right.
committees do,
Right.
before we have them sign
I
up.
think so.
So we can do it next month?
Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
next month.
And so will you be sending us like, a blurb on what each committee does?
You have it,
You don't
right?
have it?
Oh.
You
It's
should
in
have
your
it.
packet.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Okay. I don't remember seeing the committee reports. I'll look.
The meeting
I
minutes.
don't remember seeing it, do you?
You see it? Is it in there?
It was in, it was a page in all those attachments that we were emailed, listed all the committee
Okay.
assignments.
I'll have to look again.
Any other questions before?
Anybody else?
Hmm? Okay, that's it.
Huh? Okay. Okay, I have a closing comment. I would like to, again, personally welcome our newly elected board members. And if you have questions, and I know you will, Marie and Wendell and Jane, who is the trainer for our poll workers, Jean, and myself, Chris, you know, any of us, we will be more than happy and willing to help you. We just need everyone to, you know, start looking to get poll workers. Even if you live on Hilton Head and you have friends in Bluffton, you know, I could dearly use the help. Because as all of you know, Bluffton is just bursting out of the seams. And
State of
we
mind.
don't,
Bluffton's a state of mind.
yeah, it is, it's a state of mind. So I will welcome any assistance because it's gonna be very busy. And we don't want anyone to wait in the line longer than they need to. So we work together as a team, we'll get the job done, and we will make ourselves and our county look very good. Okay? Yes, yes, yes.
You may wanna wait until you have a full board of 9, but you need to do an election for board secretary also.
Okay. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so now the floor is open for a secretary. And guess what? We have this beautiful little recorder that you can use, you know, and then you go and you
What does the secretary do?
take.
How would you define that?
The secretary take the minutes of this report that we just went through and make sure that it's recorded properly, and then it goes to Chris, okay? It goes to Chris, and Chris have it, and we get it a few days before the board meeting so we can look over it to make sure that everything is there, because I'm quite sure everyone is always taking notes, even though the secretary is doing his or her thing, folks are still taking notes, and if they see something that was left out, they can let you know, so it will be added in before we get here.
So what the secretary does is you take your notes and you compare it with the recorder, take the recorder and you load it onto your laptop or whatever you want to use, and then you can just type it up from there. You know, so you have a form that's already pre-fitted, and then you send it to Chris, and Chris will make any, clean it up or whatever. I can say that since I was a past secretary. Anything else, Gene? That's about it, right?
That sounds all right.
Yeah.
It's not a hard job. So floor is open for nominations. We don't want everybody to say aye.
Yeah, they can take it back.
So Craig, you,
They can take it
I
back.
have a nomination. I think somebody who's really good at details, because I know he is, I'd like to nominate Matt Sweeney.
Okay, Matt Sweeney has been nominated.
Nothing falls through the cracks when Matt's around.
Secretary.
Is that your logo?
Yeah.
All right, is there any other?
Setting a high bar.
Any other? I need a motion.
I move we close the nominations, unanimously accept Matt as the secretary.
All right.
So,
So
Second.
move that Matt is our new, Sweeney is our new secretary.
look at me, he's already got more notes than half a meeting I've had in 2 years.
So,
We need to-
welcome, Matt.
we need to vote.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. All in favor of Matt being our new secretary? Raise your hands. Aye. Okay, it's unanimously that, Matt, you are our new secretary. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And as Jim said, you're gonna do a great job.
I'll do my best.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Announcements, Marie, do you have any? Anybody have any announcements?
Upcoming classes, right?
Yes, ma'am. You guys have a list of classes. My new board members, you probably have gotten an email saying you're signed up for some. Those are the 4 classes. Some have already filled. The ones that you were signed up for are in September. So I'll be making, we'll go over to
Yeah, I got one in June, right?
Mm-hmm, yes, ma'am, you do.
Okay, thank you. All right. Our next board meeting is scheduled for June 28th at 2 p.m. right here in council chambers. Can I get a motion for the meeting to be adjourned at,
I so move.
Second?
2:32.
all right. Thank you, and everyone have a safe and blessed Memorial Day weekend holiday. All right?